So in the last section, we talked about keys. We talked about how music is written, how each piece of music is written in a particular key, and that key tells us what notes we can play, and it does that by giving us our scale. It specifies a stepping pattern from root note to octave, and the steps we take define our scale, and that's how we know what notes we can play to compose our melody. We looked at the keys of C major and A minor, and you'll remember that C major and A minor have the same notes. They're all played on the white keys of the piano keyboard. So at this point you might be getting a bit confused. I remember being a bit confused at this point when I learned it, thinking if they have the same notes, how are they actually different? What makes them different? Well, we're going to answer that question now by looking at chords, and in brief, I'll tell you the answer. The key does not only specify the notes we can play, it also specifies what chords we can play, okay? And that all contributes to giving each particular piece of music, each particular key, each particular scale, its own particular sound, and that helps you when you're producing music achieve the mood, the feeling, the emotional impact that you're trying to achieve with your piece of music. So here again is our C major scale. We've got the scale down here, and I've written up here, we have the notes of the scale, and I've written it in such a way as just to remind people of the stepping pattern. So we play the root note, a tone, a semitone, a tone, another tone, and a semitone. So 2 tones and a semitone, 3 tones and a semitone, and we know that that gives us the notes of the major scale. Over here, I've got some Roman numerals signifying the degree of the scale. So we've got our first note, our second note, our third note, and so on and so forth. You will see that some of them are uppercase and some of them are lowercase. Over here, got a bunch of words. They signify which type of chord we play corresponding to each note of the scale. And here's the rule. When our key is major, as it is here, we're in C major, the first note, the fourth note, and the fifth note, they get a major chord. We'll talk later about how to formulate a major chord, but that's the rule. First note, fourth note, and fifth note, or the first, fourth, and fifth degree of the scale gets a major chord. So if the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord are major, we can see here that the second chord, the third chord, and the sixth chord are minor, okay? So 1, 4, and 5 major, 2, 3, and 6 minor, and that leaves us with our final chord of the scale, the 7th chord, which is what we call a diminished chord. And that's pretty much the rule of chords in the major scale. Now, of course, music is a lot more complicated than we're going into in this course. This is just an introductory course, so there are many types of chords that you can, and the word is substitute, that you can substitute for these chords, but this is the general rule, and this is enough to get you going composing your own music. Okay, I've just put in here the D major scale as well, only really to remind people of the theory that we did before. So the fact that we start on our root note, we play 2 tones and a semitone, 3 tones and a semitone, that makes it a major scale. You will see that because of the stepping pattern, we've got 2 sharps. So we play F sharp instead of F and C sharp instead of C. That also means that we formulate our chords based on these notes, these 2 sharps, okay? Just by way of a reminder, we know that we're in D major because of the key signature here, and indeed FAC. We've got a sharp symbol corresponding to the C note and a sharp symbol, every good bunny deserves fudge, corresponding to the F. So instead of playing a C, we play a C sharp. Instead of playing an F, we play an F sharp. And just as a reminder, finally, I'm going to keep repeating myself, it's the stepping pattern that gives us our key. Okay, so here's A minor. And what you'll notice about A minor, we've already said it's got the same notes as C major. So it follows that it's also got the same chords as C major. But of course, they're in a different place. In a minor key, your 1, your 4, and your 5 are minor chords. Okay, they pretty much sound right in most situations. And you use your ear to see when the other chords are suitable in your progression. We're going to talk about that a lot later, so I won't talk about it so much now. So your 1, your 4, and your 5 are minor. Your second this time is diminished. And then your third, your 6th, and your 7th are major. Okay, and that's all there is to it. 1, 4, and 5 are minor. The others are major, apart from number 2, which is diminished.